Delivery of social services is one of the most important tasks of any government. In Kyrgyzstan, lack of funds in the state budget, poor government's performance often result in the misperformance and social services do not reach the consumer in full. The problem is particularly acute in the regions. Citizens living in the remote areas have less opportunities to receive the quality service related to education and culture, less conditions to satisfy specific needs of people with disabilities of all ages. The essence of the problem in the unreasonable centralization of the social services delivery and management system. The central government, the ministries cannot deliver and service to everyone in need. There's a need for a different system of social services delivery and management where local self-government and non-profit organization would play the key role. Therefore, in 2013, civil society organization in Kyrgyzstan, with the support of the German Society for International Cooperation, started to implement a pilot project, municipal social procurement, a new mechanism of the social services provision at the local level, making social services more accessible for citizens.
Today, Kyrgyzstan is facing an acute problem of social services provision to the consumer. Adults and children with disabilities, youth and senior citizens, all of them need a wide range of social services, whether they live in the capital, close to the oblast or Republican center, or they live in remote, mountainous area. They all have equal rights to receive the whole range of services. Due to geographic specifics and budgetary conditions, the ministries and other state authorities cannot cope with the existing volume of demand for social services. Therefore, there is a need to search for other mechanisms.
The search for other mechanisms for social service delivery brings to the mechanism known as state or municipal social procurement. In this case, state or municipality acts as customer while non-governmental organization becomes an executor. Social procurement is financed by the state or local budget. This practice is new in Kyrgyzstan. However, the government of many developed countries have been practicing this mechanism for a long time by delegating their responsibility for social service delivery to the municipalities, which in their turn arrange the service through contracting out delivery to non-governmental organizations on a competitive basis.
Kyrgyzstan, on its development path, relies on experience of developed countries and adopts appropriate practices. Among those examples for Kyrgyzstan is Germany, where all of the social services insured by the state are provided through local NGOs, and this experience is considered one of the most successful.
Since 2013, the Development Policy Institute and the German Society for International Cooperation launched the pilot project to introduce social procurement in 11 municipalities of the Kyrgyz Republic. Type of services for a social procurement were selected by the citizens. Local self-governments of 11 municipalities identified service through the PRA's Participatory Rural Assessment.
In order to identify the needs in social services, we use a tool called Participatory Rural Assessment. This tool helps explore and identify the most important concerns and needs, including in the social sphere. With the support of the project on social procurement, local self-governments have conducted PRA sessions in rural areas and towns to identify the most pressing social needs.
Meetings with the population were held in 11 pilot municipalities with participation of nearly 1,500 people, including 500 women. Extensive discussions helped local government to reveal key tasks to be addressed. The tasks were announced topics for a social procurement for the non-governmental organizations. For example, residents of one pilot municipality, the town of Karakul voted to establish conditions for additional education and training for children with disabilities.
И когда проголосовали
Moreover, when residents during a general meeting voted unanimously for the option of opening a rehabilitation center, I realized how important it was for the residents. Results of the voting changed the view on this issue among the local officials. The results of the voting speak for the population's opinion, and today we are launching the center.
After identifying the priority issue, Karakul municipality announced a competition among non-governmental organizations to implement social procurement. The announcements were published in local newspapers and posted in public places. 4 non-governmental organizations participated in the competition, and the public fund IMIRA was awarded the contract for service delivery.
We were glad to hear that the project targeted at children with disabilities. We collected all of our ideas, came to Karakol town, conducted deep analysis of the sector, identified the number of children with disabilities, and proposed our solution to the problem.
According to existing law on state social procurement, the social procurement must be executed by the non-profit, non-governmental organization registered in the territory of the Kyrgyz Republic. Advantages of social procurement are the best outcome and more effective use of budget funds, especially when the local self-governments, municipalities act on behalf of the customer. This is possible when the central government transfers the function of social service delivery to along with the money to the municipalities.
Together with the Development Policy Institute, we visited Bulgaria and saw that social procurement works successfully in this country. This practice was initiated by the municipalities, not by the Republic or ministries. And this really matters, as local self-governments are better aware of the key local social problems in their municipalities. Moreover, municipalities' collaboration with and engagement of non-profit organizations in social services delivery bring great benefits to citizens.
Non-governmental organizations work closely with the local communities, implementing the social procurement. NGOs, being non-for-profit, target all sources of the contracts for service delivery to the beneficiaries to efficient contract execution. Also, non-governmental organizations link local governments with the regular citizens and help the states provide guaranteed service to the citizens.
For non-governmental organization, the Public Fund had experience working with children with disabilities. In 2011, with support of UNICEF, we launched a rehabilitation center for children with Down syndrome in Tashbolak village of Suzak Rayon. Since that time, I had been dreaming of more opportunities to help more children with such needs and to establish similar rehabilitation centers. The fact that our ideas were similar became an impetus for execution of this procurement.
With the IMIR Fund's efforts, the Rehabilitation Center for Disabled Children was established at the Vocational Educational Facility in Karakol town, where they can learn the 3 specialties: hairdressing, senior skills, and cooking. The center is designed for 89 children with disabilities and has already enrolled 28 children. The center is located in the vocational facility, and it helps children with special needs adapt more quickly in society and feel confident along with their peers. Before the opening of the rehabilitation center, some children studied in the specialized facilities far from their homes in Bishkek. But thanks to the social procurement, they happily came back home to reunite with families live with their parents. Accessibility of the service through this initiative also helped parents to reduce the financial burden on the family budget.
For 8 years, our daughter studied in Bishkek. It was difficult and expensive. Social worker told us about the possibility to enroll in the center in Karakol. Now she studies here at home, which makes me happy.
The active work of teachers and social workers together with the municipality and civil society helps effectively solve the most important social problem of Karakol. Now, more and more people learn about the rehabilitation center. However, the budget of the social procurement in the framework of the pilot project is limited to 1 million sums. It is still unknown what will happen afterwards and how will the rehabilitation center sustain in the future. The answers depend on the municipality and the state.
Все зависит от того,
All depends on what results we achieve by November. Let's say those parents and children who are now studying there will say that there is a need to continue. Then we will certainly seek for solutions. First, we will try to attract international sponsors and donors. There is also an extreme option to consider, to include this issue in the agenda of the local council meeting. for considering financing from the local budget. This we shall decide later based on the results of the project. Social service delivery contract, complete execution.
Но все это
Close interaction of the mayor's office with the residents of Karakul town lived up the hopes to the social procurement. The partnership of the various parties, the ability to achieve the results jointly will help the project be sustainable. It is no accident that within the pilot project almost every social procurement had come funding from other sources. People and organizations on the ground see the benefits of the social procurement and are ready to help by doing things and giving money.
We have analyzed the financial inputs of the parties in the implementation of social procurement projects in the municipalities and found that in the average, co-financing from local self-government and the local communities was about 20%. It is important to note that we do not consider the financial contribution of the state because it is a separate issue. But if we take into account financial contribution of the state, the amount will be greater.
The total amount for the implementation of social procurement was 14 million sums, while 11 million were provided by the German Society for International Cooperation, and 3 million, that is 20%, are the contribution of the local budget, the community and sponsors. The contribution that have equal shares of the community and the municipalities should become strong arguments for transfer of responsibilities for social service delivery to the municipal level.
Бұл проекте
We have received these shelves and computers as a contribution by the Regional Department of the Ministry of Youth in Talas Oblast. Thus, the ministry addresses its objectives in working with youth in Talas Oblast with minimal cost.
During PRA sessions, the resident of Omuraliyev Ayıl Aymak defined development of nation culture as priority issue. Therefore, the topic of the social procurement was selected to create conditions for the preservation and dissemination of traditional culture, knowledge and skills. 2 non-governmental organizations participated in the competition. The contract was awarded to the public association ICUL.
мы никогда не работали.
We have not worked under state social procurement before. In June of 2014, Omuraliyev Ayıl Aymak, Rural Municipality Local Self-Government, has announced a competition for social service delivery under the social procurement. It was so interesting as the topic was the development of the Kyrgyz people, culture and history.
Интересная была тема у них была развитие.
Within execution of the social procurement, staff of the public association ICUL established a training center for young people in the culture house of Omuraliyev Rural Municipality. Here, young people can learn to play commerce, basics of computer literacy. Studies at the center are free and many children are actively accessing these services.
We live in Aksai village of Talas Oblast in rural areas. These services are not very accessible, and we are pleased that our children have such an opportunity in the Youth Resource Center. We even bought a komos to our son so that he could attend the club. The boy is very happy that he can learn to play the Kyrgyz national instrument. He is already playing well. For the youth development, it would be helpful to establish such centers in every village through the social procurement.
Community of each of the 11 pilot municipalities in Batken, Jalalabad and Talas Oblast chose the topic of the social procurement based on their needs, while the following services were identified as the most in demand: preschool education, rehabilitation and socialization of children with disabilities, development of culture, access to information and additional education. An important question: how well and to what extent the services are provided through the social procurement? The answer to this question was given by the monitoring groups, which worked from the first day and until the end of the project. The monitoring group followed up with the compliance of project with the scope of work and proposals efficiency of spending funds as per approved contract budget.
Monitoring and evaluation are needed to prevent corruption, to ensure the finance distribution appropriately so that the population had no doubt. The monitoring group consists of ordinary citizens, beneficiaries of social services. Therefore, the group became an important indicator of the project effectiveness, raised the confidence of the population to the project.
The monitoring group worked in constant contact with the municipality, non-government organization executor, as well as with the Development Policy Institute. Each member of the monitoring group was adequately trained. It made possible to eliminate use of corruption schemes in the implementation of the social procurement.
И эти группы, они
After being trained, these groups developed their plans for monitoring. During execution of the contracts for social service delivery, members of the monitoring groups conduct monitoring and evaluation on sites. Recently, I visited a number of municipalities and members of the groups demonstrated me their acts documenting service delivery status. They conducted monitoring in the beginning of the project and now they do monitor the process of the project implementation. They monitored the purchase of furniture, repair and maintenance of the facilities. Now this is a period when the non-governmental organization provides the service and the group members monitor the service delivery, namely, if enrolled, children come to the classes, what lessons are delivered, and how the teachers work with the children.
Practice of social procurement is widely utilized in many developed and developing countries. For example, in Bulgaria, 1/4 of all social services are being delivered by non-governmental organizations through the social procurement. Social procurement is widely used by the municipal entities of the Russian Federation, Latvia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and other countries. In the Kyrgyz Republic, the law on state social procurement is in force since 2008.
Obviously, we are very happy with the outcomes of the pilot project, because the experience of 11 pilots shows that the project has success, and it is successful only when there is a non-governmental sector cooperation with local self-governments, because only they know what problems exist on the ground, how they should be addressed, and how to get necessary services and provide them to the population.
The fifth article of the law states that the implementation of the state social procurement is carried out in the following areas: achieving the goals in education, science, information, physical culture and sports, protection of public health, promoting healthy lifestyles, environmental protection, support for youth policy and children's initiatives, solution to demographical problems, gender issues, support for socially vulnerable groups of population, assistance to orphans, children from the single parents and large families, promotion to employment of citizens, protection of rights and legal interests of citizens and organizations, development of culture and arts, protection of historical and cultural heritage, strengthening the social consensus. Other socially significant areas that do not contradict the legislation of the Kyrgyz Republic.
Действующий закон – это был первый опыт принятия подобного закона в стране.
Currently, the working group drafted a new law on state social procurement, which takes into account the advantages of the previous law, and of course attempted to address the shortcomings of the current legislation. The new draft law anticipates 3 forms of state social procurement implementation, thus expanding the opportunities to utilize this tool. State social procurement can be implemented through public procurement. It is a distinctive feature of the draft law, thus making a clear distinction between public procurement and state social procurement, which was not present in the previous legislation, in the existing law. Moreover, there is a possibility of the state social procurement's execution through grant programs. There is also a possibility for the state social procurement through social coupons or vouchers.
Есть возможность реализации государственного социального заказа, опять же.
The new law is needed, obviously. However, all the possibilities of the social procurement to full extent may be ensured and realized only under the conditions that the state, central government finally delegates provision of the some social services to local self-governments.
The law on the Order of State Powers delegation to LSG bodies that I initiated was adopted. The process started 2 years ago, but has not fully reached the end. In particular, the Ministry of Social Development has not delegated yet. I think in 2016 it will transfer delivery of the relevant services through delegating to local self-governments. Then, only in 2016, local self-governments can work with the non-governmental organizations to fulfill the functions delegated by the ministry. That is how the procedure must be. Now the responsibility is on the ministry.
Министерством уже работать с неправительственными организациями.
The process of the introducing social procurement at the municipal level in Kyrgyzstan has been launched and has achieved the first outcomes in 11 pilot municipalities. The state, local self-government, and most importantly the beneficiaries of social services may see the whole range of advantage in decentralization of social services delivery through social procurement. Result-based management instead of process management. Pilot municipalities are not just engaged in the social work in the existing routine, but rather achieved results such as 11 comprehensive services provided to 2,500 people. Opportunity to increase the amount of the resources targeted to social services by 20%. 10% is the contribution of local budget and 10% is the community contribution. Improving the quality of solution to social problems. For example, parents of 80 children in Sumbula Aylaymak in Batken Oblast notice improvements. Their children learn to speak better, count, distinguish colors and objects, and behave in the team. Increased targeting of social services. For example, in Kargaly Aylaymak of Jalalabad Oblast, the project implementer revealed all children with the disabilities and their parents and created the database. In Tovuzbulak Aylaymak of Jalalabad Oblast, similar database was developed. Children's social security cards were designed and even 20 more latent children with disabilities were revealed. Increased citizens' satisfaction with performance of local self-government in general. During just 1 year, the number of citizens who are satisfied with the performance of local self-government in pilot municipalities has increased by an average of 30%. The pilot project has proved the local self-government and capable to provide social services directly through municipal facilities and through social procurement. There is no doubt that the state, central government will benefit from the delegating social services provision to the municipalities and NGOs. Social, cultural, and other services will become accessible to citizens in need. This is care of human beings.